So myself and Comic Storian went out to one of the parks earlier today. Like it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and just like we were taking pictures. Well, he was taking pictures. I was recording B-roll. It's my first time actually putting a B-roll sequence together like that. I think it actually came together pretty well, to be honest. Like I'm pretty proud of myself for grabbing a lot of that footage, like drone footage and the Osmo footage. What is it? The Osmo Pocket, I think, is what I used to record a lot of that footage. I'm actually pretty excited about it. But in this video today, I want to talk about the time I almost died. So here's the thing. where even is what I like? Where is it? It's well, it's in the bag. I'm not gonna get it out. But actually, you know what? Let's get this thing out. Let's dig this thing out. This right here is what I almost died for. This Mavic Pro 2. This is a replacement, or the Mavic 2 Pro, whatever it is that you guys want to call it. That's the replacement one. So okay. So I live about an hour and a half away from the Rocky Mountains, from like Rocky Mountain National Park. And I was sitting at home one day, like it was early in the morning, like Mariah had left for work, so I was like, okay, I need something to do today. Like I want to go do something interesting, right? Because I recorded all my audio for my comic book videos and so on. So I was like, I've got a whole day to kill. Like I've got a couple days to just kind of do whatever it is that I want to do. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the Rocky Mountains and I'm gonna record some drone footage. And I was like, yay! So I jump in my truck, drive all the way up to the Rocky Mountains, get some drone footage at Estes Park, and then finally actually take it up into the Rocky Mountains proper. And oh my God, some of that drone footage I got was insane. It was just beautiful, 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 beautiful stuff. Now, me being the absolute genius that I am, keep seeing like the high wind warning on my Mavic, but I'm like, whatever, man, this thing's motorized, it'll be fine. It's probably more of like a guideline than a rule to like bring the Mavic down when it says that it's, that like the winds are too high. It's probably more just like a caution, like, hey, just so you know, the winds are high. It means you need to bring that. It means you need to bring that damn thing down. Okay, so so I get up into the Rocky Mountains, and like the way it goes is you have the front entrance that I took, or really kind of I guess maybe the back entrance. There's two ways to get in. You can go through downtown Estes Park, or you can take the back way, right? Basically go by the Stanley Hotel, then you ride up these backcountry roads, which are beautiful. You do that for a little while, and then for about 4 miles, I think, and then you come up on the entrance to Rocky Mountain National Park. So I get to the entrance by, I guess the entrance that you take from the Stanley Hotel, which is actually where The Shining was filmed, believe it or not. But I take that entrance, and then I end up going, getting to the actual park, and I pull over, and there's some high winds, and I'm like, whatever, and I'm trying to control the thing, and I'm getting this cool footage. And I was getting stuff like, because it was snowy at the time, at least up there in the mountains, I was getting stuff where like it was flying really low to the snow, and it was getting like this really cool look, and then like it would come up, and it would see the mountains, and I went up the roads, like all the different roads that were there, and I was getting footage of like the actual mountain peaks, like Twin Peaks and all that kind of stuff. And just this amazing, beautiful drone footage, just this fantastic, right? Just makes your soul scream drone footage. Getting this beautiful drone footage, and then comes the moment of doom. So I am, I've got this damn controller in my hands, right? This stupid controller thing. I got this thing in my hands. I'm like piloting it like this, and I'm like, okay, got my phone hooked to the bottom. So I'm looking at the phone. It's like high wind warning, and I'm like, okay, it's like battery low, because I have it set so that when it gets to 25%, it'll give me a warning, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll bring it back. Better safe than sorry. So I've got this thing flying over the treetops, and like the road is like right here, all right, and like there's like this huge incline. Or I'm sorry, this decline where it just like drops off like that. And so you have all these trees and everything that kind of begin to drop off a little bit. And then back over here, you have like the mountain. So I send the drone up and over the trees, and it's like getting these footage of the mountains, and like I've got it looking straight down, so you get like that forest look as it passes over and all that kind of cool stuff. And it says like battery low. So I'm like, okay. So the battery's getting low. So I'm like, okay, we got to bring this thing back over here. And like a 20-mile-an-hour gust of wind just comes flying over the mountain. I'm just like, no. And so I'm like, okay, we got this. I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to bring it back. I'm like, we got this, baby. We got this, baby. We're gonna bring you home. And so like, so this thing, bless its little heart, is just pedaling, just spinning as fast as it can, and trying to fly back to me as fast as it can. And the wind's keeping it going. And then I see the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever seen in my life. Battery low warning, landing in current location. And I'm like, no! no, because it's like, it's way over there. So I'm like, okay. So the wind lets up for a second. I'm like, all right, we got enough juice. We got enough juice to bring this thing back. So I'm bringing it back, right? So like I'm hitting forward and the thing's coming. I'm like, we almost got it. We almost got it. What does it do? Hits a tree branch and falls straight down into the snow. And I'm just like, no. I was like, no. You know, I was so upset. I was so I was so devastated. I was so crushed by this. And so I'm like, okay, this thing falls down into the snow, and here I am wearing some Nike Shox. So I'm like, okay, we can get it. So keep in mind, this is the mountains, all right? Like, it's basically frozen snow. And so I'm like, okay, so like I start like shimmying my way down. Cars are riding by. People are just like, what is this dumbass doing? So like people are riding by, all right, and I'm like shimmying my way down. All right, I get down almost to where it is. Maybe like it's like 20 meters in front of me, right? So it's not even that far away. So like I get down to maybe what's probably about 10 meters away. Like I'm halfway there, slip on ice, and then like grab this tree. So I'm like holding on for dear life, right? Because like if I slip and I fall, I'm gonna go tumbling down the side of this mountain. I'm gonna die, and that's gonna be the end of Comics Explained, right? Like all these other comic YouTubers are finally gonna have their chance to take my place. It's gonna be like a war of the comic tubers, right? Like who's gonna replace Comics Explained as like the second most popular guy on the comic book YouTube scene. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just like, all right, I got to keep myself saved. I can't go sliding down this thing and die. And so I'm like, all right. So I pull myself up by the tree, and I'm holding onto the tree, and I'm like, okay, I get around it. And then like I use my legs to push myself up, grab a rock, and then finally get back up to where the truck is. So I'm just like, okay, I almost died, and I am not dying for a $1,200 drone. I'll die for the footage that I got on that drone, because that footage was amazing. And that was the worst part. That was the most crushing part. I don't even care about the damn thing. I could have gone to Best Buy and got a new one, which I did. What I was so upset about was the footage that I lost on this thing. The footage was just so amazing and perfect, and Peter McKinnon would have cried tears of happiness, and Morgan Freeman would have narrated this thing, and God would have patted me on the back with this footage that I got and I lost, and I was so crushed by it. I was so devastated by it. So I was like, okay, whatever, man. So on all the way back, right, like I got to tell the girl. So I'm like, I can't hide something like this. So I'm like, how do I break this to her? Do I do it in like a low-key way? Do I just kind of laugh about it? So I call up a buddy of mine, Raj, and Raj is like, oh no, man, you just got to play it off, dude. Just make it like it's no big deal. And I'm like, okay, cool. We'll get with that. So we get back home. I'm pretty sure Raj would have been a lot more tactful than I was. So I get back home. Mariah gets off work. She gets back home. She's like, so how was your day? And I was like, well, sweetheart, I almost died. And she's like, and I probably should have played it off a little better than that. And she's like, what happened? I told her the whole story, and she's just like, no. Like those were her exact words. And I was like, wow. Like she was so pissed. She was so pissed. She's like, if you ever do that again, I swear to God, I'll kill you. And I was like, okay. So moral of the story, folks, if you are going to fly a drone and the drone says caution, high warning, listen, like pay attention and do not cost yourself the best footage in the history of man. Like this is like the song Tribute from Tenacious D, right? Like this is not the greatest song in the world. This is just a tribute. Like that's what this is. It's not the greatest footage in the world. It's a tribute to what was the greatest footage in the world. You have to believe me. The footage was so good. Oh, it was just so beautiful and just life-sustaining and nourishing and just delicious and crispy and wonderful and fantastic. And I lost it all. It's like one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life. It was crushing. Anyway, I figured I would share that story with you guys. With that being said, we're gonna bring this video to an end, and I will catch you all later. Peace.